please, my good friend, healthy kid.
Well,
Tell everybody about yourself.
welcome to the podcast. I'm John, or also known as That Healthy Kid on Twitch. I'm 22 years old, and I started streaming 3 months ago. 3 months ago. I started streaming just because pretty much I play too many video games as it is. And this kind of gives me an out to go and play those video games without feeling bad about myself. So,
Right on,
yeah.
right
Yes,
on.
sir.
Um, any hobbies?
I like to go and kind of push myself physically. I did a Spartan race this year to try and push myself a little more physically. Try and do that. Go and I guess that healthy kids in the name. So
100%. It's home brand. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. I don't know. I also fixing up 67 Ford Halfton with my dad and my brother right now. It was my grandpa's old truck, so I have a little bit of an interest in that, mechanics wise.
Ooh, that's cool, dude. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I love those old vehicles, man.
So cool. They
Yeah.
are so cool.
Um, Salute everyone, man. It's your favorite Texan here, aka Old Pat. Welcome to the podcast, man. This podcast started like perfectly today because it's our first one, and the technical
Um,
difficulties
oh yeah.
were alive and well, but
Mhm.
patience and perseverance, we're here. So apologize for
Yep.
the delay. We take ownership of that. Now, a little about me. I'm 26, Texan, born and raised, whole life. I always loved playing video games. Started playing when I was like 7. I feel like I got a Super Nintendo for Christmas, and like Mario was my
Nice.
first game. And dude, like didn't
Oh
know make
man,
sense, right? Like
working with
fell
the
in love with
classics.
him. Yeah, 100%, man.
Nice.
100%. I was probably a little bit before your time.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I've definitely played it too. Yeah. As
Golly,
far as
man. You weren't supposed to agree with me, man.
I mean, no, you're completely wrong, man.
Yeah, no, I'm just playing. No, but yeah, so I played Super Nintendo, and then I got a Nintendo 64 after that.
Oh, okay.
And
Nice.
like there was a game, man. It was World Cup '98,
Oh, okay.
and like me and my dad, we played that game like nonstop, dude. Like it was like a
That's
really, really fond memory of my childhood. But yeah, I started streaming because I was like, you know what, man, like, I had kind of like stopped like playing games for a little bit. Like
oh, okay.
I wasn't playing like too much, and
Yep.
I was like, man, like, I want to get back into playing. I'm like, man, well, if I'm gonna play, like, I might as well stream
Hmm.
while doing it, right? And then like
Definitely.
I already like talking to folks and stuff. Like I had streamed a couple times before, but it was never anything serious. Like
Mhm.
I was just like just for gameplay, like just to get some kind of gameplay.
I
Um,
get you.
but other than that, but I was like, I made my mind up, and I was like, yeah, man, I want to try this out. Like, seems like fun, and
Yeah, for sure.
like I've been doing it since I don't know tail end of May.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh man. Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty much around the same time I started too.
right, hundred
Yeah.
percent, man.
I think it was
Yeah,
around like 26th or something like that. I don't know. I'm not sure about the exact date, but
right,
no, right on, man.
yeah,
Right on.
okay, man. So like,
Mhm.
why do you think like a lot of folks like stream? What do you think like the general, the
Mhm.
big majority of people like why do you think like most people want to start streaming?
Well, I think especially with the media, right? Like you go and you see big people like Ninja or somebody. they start streaming and you kind of see the really, really good side of it, right? Like how much money they're making. He's got a decent, good looking girlfriend and stuff, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like he has everything going good for him, right? You never see the work that he puts in, but you go and you see all the stuff that he has and everything that he's been working with, right? And just doing awesome for himself, right? I think the big one for me, I didn't know who Ninja was before that, but that Drake stream.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? That was
100%.
a huge thing, right? But you see streamers go and start with that, and I think that's kind of where a lot of people get started. They think it's going to be easy. They think it's going to be fast, right? Right, 100%. And that's why they start. It's easy money. It's easy effort to put in when it's really not, right?
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like, basically, like trying to make a quick buck.
Exactly.
Like, I agree, man. Like that's for sure a huge part of it. I think it's like, you know, thinking that, you know, you're gonna make a ton of money in a short amount of time. Like, I mean, like we all heard the expression, like if it sounds too good to be true, right? Like
definitely
it ain't true, right? So but yeah, and that's a lot of stuff, right? Like people see some folks having success like in whatever, and then they feel like, okay, well, and you know, you just look at it, just that first layer of what they can actually see, and then they're like, okay, like this is easy.
Exactly.
You know, well, like you said, but if you're not looking behind the scenes, like the grind, like all the extra stuff that goes into doing, you know, in like this case, being a streamer, you know, especially like a successful one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's perspective for sure. So yeah, I agree with that. I believe it's the, you know, finances, and then, you know, it's wild, right? Like these huge streamers, like they're like they're I don't want to say status, but like, you know what I mean? Like it's just crazy now. Like I seen that picture on Twitter when he was Ninja was with, you know, took a picture of Travis Scott. Like that's wild. Like like streamers and then like, you know, artists, or, you know, just like it's amazing, like, you know, the way this stuff is gone. And be 100%, man. So like a lot of folks, you know, they just look at that and then they're like, okay, like I'm gonna do this. It's easy. All I gotta do is press play, 100%. And then that's, you know, they get phased out pretty quickly, right?
Exactly right. You gotta kind of have some kind of a set goal, right? And maybe making money is that goal, right? But you got to realize it's not going to come fast, right? And you kind of got to be a little more personal with people, right? Right? You're not going to get anywhere if you're not personal with people and build a little bit of a relationship with your viewers or other streamers for that fact, right? Because you can learn tons from other people too, right? Tons.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I feel like that's like what you should be doing.
Exactly.
I feel like you should have that, you know, humility
for
to
sure.
like learn from other folks, like, you know.
Yep.
And we're both still real baby streamers, right? But like me starting off, you know, there's definitely a ton of questions. Like to this day, I ask questions, like to like the folks that have been doing it longer than I have, like the OGs and stuff like that. I ask them questions, man. Like, you know, a lot of folks, you know, they like that humility and just feel like they can just whatever. And there's nothing wrong with like trying to go something, you know, on your own. But, you know, if somebody can tell you how to do it and you can avoid, you know, falling into, you know, whatever, or doing the wrong thing here, like who wouldn't want to take that advice?
Exactly.
So like country preacher gaming, like salute to him, man. Like he was definitely one of them that's been doing it like a lot longer than I have. That like to this day I can go back and ask him questions, and like he'll answer all of them, and like it's good, man, to get that feedback.
Yeah, it's definitely good having somebody like that in your corner when you start out too, right? To go 100%. And lean on, ask questions, right? You know what I mean?
Facts.
For sure. For sure it is. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think if folks were like would hear that more often
Mm-hmm.
and just like understand, like get perspective of like all the stuff behind the scenes of what goes into like, especially the folks that are like real successful, um,
Yeah.
and see like the steps that got them there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know if they quit, like people start streaming, right? Like somebody starts streaming today, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
do it for a couple weeks, and then like they'll quit,
Yeah.
you know, and it's either because they're what they wanted from it wasn't right in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
like they just wanted to make money from it,
Yeah.
or they just didn't understand that, you know, a lot of this stuff takes years. Like,
For sure.
you know, how much patience do you have?
And that's the thing, right? That's exactly it, right? You need patience to go and do this, and need to kind of relax and realize it's not going to be a fast thing, right? Kind of you really got to be in for it for the long haul, right? You're not gonna have fast success. You sometimes see people have fast success, right? And good for them. Kudos to them, right? I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of looked in to see how, like, what these people are doing, what the difference is, right? And honestly, it's just lots of them have a decent personality, right? Right. I'm not gonna say everybody's gonna go and grow that fast, right? But they have a charisma or something to just drag these people in, right? And it's authentic, right? You can tell that these people come from a good place. You know what I mean? Right? It's nothing. It's not, well, unless they're dang good actors, right? Like they got to go into Hollywood or something like that. If they can act that well,
Right.
right, for that long of a time, like I see 7, 8 hours a night, right, on the weekends,
Mm-hmm.
and they just never, you can never see them up. Like you see them upset because they're getting tired or whatever, but like not, they don't change their character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They always stay that same person, right? And that's definitely a good quality to have if you're going to be starting this, right? Is not to change who you are, but to kind of take a hold of it and be that, right? Because that differentiates you from anybody else, right?
100%.
Nobody's exactly
100%.
like you, right? Right? When you can be personable on that level, that, whew, man, you're going places, right? You're
Yeah.
going places.
Yeah. Facts. Facts. Like, yeah, bro, that's so true. And like, hey, folks, like if they understood that more, like that off, you know, authenticity,
For
and
sure.
like knowing that like just you being yourself, like the
Definitely.
best version of yourself, like that's enough to
Yep.
like separate you from anybody.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
and that's what I like. I try to like tell folks. It's like you may not think that your truth is interesting, but like other folks will find it interesting. Like,
Exactly.
like
Yep.
whatever it is, man. Like, there's so many like, you know, I'm fascinated like with all the stories, all the, you know, just like even day to day stuff that folks do, and just hearing
Mm-hmm.
like about different lifestyles and stuff like that. Like, yeah, man. Like people need to understand that more. Like, be yourself. You know how it is, man. Like, and that's
Yeah.
go you know, partly back to what we were saying as far as folks doing this for the money or whatever. What they do is
Mm-hmm.
they see somebody, they'll see, you know, Ninja or Ten, you know, the Tap Man or something like that, and they're like, okay, like he's super successful, right?
Yep.
Well, let me try to act like him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me try to, you know, let me study his persona and try to become like
Yeah.
him, like, you know, personality wise. Let me try to move like him and stuff like that. And, you know,
Exactly.
that's going to bring me viewers.
Yep.
And, you know, more often than not, it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you lost sight of yourself, man. Like
For
who
sure.
wants to put on, like, before you start streaming and put on, like, a persona, man? Like, that's
Yep.
it, that dude. You know, like
Definitely.
that ain't no way to do it. Like,
Definitely.
Like
Yeah.
like like you gotta be yourself, man. Like,
Mhm.
and that's it, man. They're trying to do too much. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
they're like all that like antics and just all the stuff, man. Just anything for views, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? People kind of get into that follow for follow kind of mindset, right? They kind of start diving into that.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Right? And that's not good. I'm happy with the networking. And this is just my opinion to anybody watching. You can have your own opinion about it. That's completely okay. But I firmly believe that networking is one of the best, if not the best thing that you can do, right? And this comes back to being authentic, right? You don't want to go and talk about stuff that you don't like to other people. Just look up like whether you like some kind of video game and jump in somebody's chat, right? People on Twitter, I'm honestly surprised how nice the communities on there are on there, right? Like, don't get me wrong, you get your jabronis here and there that are just
Yeah, yeah.
whatever, right?
Shit, bro. Right
But
on.
everybody's decently nice, right? Like they'll either leave a comment or maybe they'll just leave it alone and won't respond. But 9 times out of 10, I've found people will respond, right? Especially if you leave like a nice comment on their video or their clip or whatever, and kind of jump into a conversation there, right? It's definitely a good way to get your name out there and meet some really cool people, right? Right? It's
Thanks.
definitely one of those big things
That's
for
huge.
sure, for sure.
That's huge. Like, what
But
do you like? How do you feel about like folks like just doing that, like going in to other folks' streams, like
oh
just
man,
just to to try to like talk to other folks, like expecting them, like you know what I mean? Like somebody goes
yep,
into your stream and talks to you for like half an hour, and
for sure.
then they get upset because you didn't go check out their stream. Like,
Well, and that's the thing, right? I'm gonna host, and for me, it's different. I host people who I see putting in the work. You know what I mean? If I see
respect it.
somebody going and putting in the work and going and like networking on Twitter and they're going and they're streaming all the time, definitely I'm gonna go and host you, right? But don't expect to come in and host me and expect to host back, right? Like I'm not trying to be rude with that kind of aspect, right? But it's I'm not going to give you something just because you gave me it, right? I want you, if you're enjoying my content and you enjoy, and we have a personal relationship built where you can host me and you really feel that makes you feel good, totally. I'm all for it, man, right? But don't host me just for expecting a host back, right? That's not the kind of mindset you want to go into, right? Because then you just go down the rabbit hole, right? Right? You kind
Thanks.
of get greedy with the hosts, the follows, everything kind of like that, right? I personally don't want it to be about that, right? And like I said before, that's everybody's opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's just mine, right? I'd rather build personal relationships and kind of have like good terms with people. You know what I mean?
100%. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Iro, appreciate the host, brother. Um, yeah, dude. Like, and that's the thing about it is that
Mm-hmm.
that's how you're supposed to do it, right? Like,
Exactly.
if that's how you build something, like
Yep.
follow for follow, you can't sustain it. There's no
Mm-hmm.
sustaining it. Like,
Yep.
hey, you get 300 follows, two
Mm-hmm.
people watch.
Yeah.
I just
And that's
that's
yeah.
I mean, and I see it all the time, and even now, I scroll through Twitter and I see the follow for follow, and I'm just like, it's purely numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's why I sent out that tweet a while back, and I was like, follow for follow is just empty calories.
Yep.
Like that's it, man. Like they don't
For
do any
sure.
good for you,
Yep.
and
No.
like,
No, they don't. And that's got one person jumped into my stream the other day and dropped a comment on that. Right? He came into my stream and he dropped a comment. He was like, "Follow for a follow." Right? And so I kind of stopped him and I was like, "Man, nothing personal, right? You can go and do what you want, but I want you to follow me if you're enjoying the stuff that I'm putting out, right? Right? If you're enjoying the
100%.
stuff that I'm putting out, definitely drop a follow, right? Like if we can build some kind of personal relationship, right? Where you enjoy my stuff and drop a follow, I enjoy your stuff and drop a follow. That's what I'm talking about, right? I don't want to get into that numbers kind of game, right? I don't want to be worried about the numbers. I want everybody in my community to enjoy the stuff that I'm doing, right? And kind of engage with it, right? Right? I think that's a big thing that you kind of want to have in your community, right? Because I don't want to have it as a numbers game, right? I find people get really toxic with that,
Yeah.
right? And I think honestly, to me, I think I was a part of that, right? Like when you're trying to get affiliated, you want like those max 50 followers, right? Right off the bat. And to me, I think I kind of got a little tied up in that right in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I kind of had to take a step back and reflect and remind myself of why I wanted to do this instead of wanting to go and get affiliated really quick, right? Like that was a big goal of mine, right? So I kind of had to take a step back and reflect and tell myself, like, you got to change it up, right?
Yeah.
You can't be doing that, right? Like you gotta change your mindset, right? Or you're gonna burn yourself out.
So like, what made you like feel that way? Where you got to that point where just like, I need to like recalibrate like my perspective, like change my mindset up.
I think it was the fact like I liked engaging with people and there wasn't as many people coming into my streams and engaging with me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you would always like when I started, I would go and engage with people. And then I kind of got into that mindset where it was me going and talking and like I'm trying to think of the things like retweet for a follow, right? Everybody go like this post and retweet for a follow, right? So I'd kind of get 12 into that, right? And then a couple of weeks went by, and I was like, man, these people follow me. And then like lots of them will go and unfollow me 2 or 3 days later.
Yeah.
Right? Like just cheese me, man, right? Like completely just like I don't know what you would call it, right? But just they'd go and unfollow me and I'd be like, well, why would you do that? Right? Like what does a follow cost? It doesn't cost anything, right? You know what I mean? But
100%.
I kind of got dwelled into that and I was like, nah, man, like this isn't worth it, right? Like I'm not building any personal relationships with it. It's just wasting my time. That I could go and be like, even if I went and got one follow to every 10 follows that I got on those posts, right? That's one person I broke down and had a personal relationship with, right? And I'm not saying like a huge, like best friend relationship, whatever, right? I'm talking more of a fact of just breaking it down. We have something in common and he or she pops into my stream all the time and we have a conversation about something. You know what I mean? Whether that's a video game or talking about vehicles or whatever, right? It can be anything, any of the above, right? I'd rather have that one person there than those 10 people who might lurk, maybe not, and definitely won't engage in the chat. You know what I mean?
100%. 100%. You remember how I told you that when I first started streaming that there was a guy and he would listen to my stream like a podcast while he was delivering.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's in here in the chat right now.
Oh, right on.
Pyro Phoenix, salute brother. And like there was times where I was playing H1Z1 on PS4 where like it was me and him and like I was streaming and he was like in the chat.
Yeah.
You know, and like we were like having that good, like you said, that good relationship, that good conversation.
Right on.
You know what I mean? Like that was worth more than 40 or 50 folks watching me that didn't say anything to me.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like or let me say this, or that was better than having like say Pyro. He was in my chat and with me and him, and then I had whatever, let's just say 50 followers. Okay, like that right there is better than having 200 followers and like you got 8 or 9 folks watching you, but nobody's like engaging, right?
Exactly.
Like 100%, dude. So I completely agree. Like I'll take an engaging follower like over 100 followers that aren't engaging. They're just like bots basically.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
So
for sure.
I completely agree. I couldn't agree more with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, definitely, right? And it's kind of weird, like, and even with like that, just on Twitter, right? Like somebody will go and they'll drop me a follow on Twitter, so I'm like, I'll see somebody go and follow me on Twitter, and I'll go and like pop in through the streams. And there's been a couple people who will DM me, and they're like, "Oh, I dropped you a follow on Twitter and Twitch. I hope you repay the favor."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get them all the
What?
time. I get them all the
What are
time.
you talking about?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
if you have something to DM me, like personal wise, definitely, right? And like I said, a follow doesn't cost anything, but when people are prodding you like that just for a number, that doesn't make you feel special, right? Like that doesn't give you any incentive to go and follow them like that. You know what I mean?
100%.
Right? Like you kind of gotta, like I said, be authentic and be personal with people, right? That's your
Yeah.
best asset when you're doing this, right? And I'm not saying I'm great by any means, right?
Yeah,
That's
for
just
sure.
my personal opinion. Like I like seeing people do.
Yeah. I agree, man. Like I get them to this day. Like somebody DM me, "Hey brother, followed you on Twitch. Get me back." Huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Like I
definitely.
mean, that that lets you know right there that they're gonna unfollow you.
Yep,
And they
totally
just
they
want you to
will.
follow you. They just want you to follow them. I mean,
Yep.
because if somebody says something like that to me, like clearly you don't know me. Like,
Mm,
I mean, you can just
yeah.
scroll through my feed and like see how I feel about like all that,
Yep.
all that foolishness, right? Like,
For sure,
so
man.
yeah, you're just I ain't the one.
Mm,
Like, I ain't the one, man. Like,
definitely.
I can't do nothing with it. Like, example,
Mm,
like us two.
mm,
Like I remember you came into my
yep.
stream.
Yep.
Um, we were talking, chatting it up.
Mm,
You blessed me with the host. Now I already seen you on Twitter doing your
yep.
thing.
Yep.
And you came into my stream. I was extremely grateful.
Mm,
And like I say, you threw me the host, and I'm like, man, like, all right, like I'm gonna go check him out. Like, not because I feel obligated because he threw me a host and he was
yep.
chatting up. Like, no, we're having a good conversation.
Definitely.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna go like check him out because like I want to see what he's got going on.
Yep.
And then like the rest is history, like something like that. Like,
Mm.
I value that a lot. Somebody comes in my stream or whatever, we're chopping it up or something. They're cool. Like,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, I'm gonna check you out. Like, 'cause I
Mm-hmm.
want to.
Yep. And that's part of the thing, right? Like I remember I had seen you on Twitter and you're posting a lot of positive stuff, right? And I don't know why. I was like, man, I want to go and see, like, at least go and stop in this guy's stream and see what he's all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then I'd watch you, you'd go and you'd play a little bit and you're playing, I think it was Farming Simulator at that time,
yeah,
right? And then you
yeah.
started going on like a
Positive,
little
bro.
bit of a rant or talk. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, yes, yes, I want to go and stop in and like just like pop into these streams and talk about it, right? Like it's good it's a good little banter back and forth to like talk about that stuff, right? You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
love doing that stuff with people, right? I don't think there's enough of it, right? Like I don't think a lot of people talk about stuff like this, right? And even if there's a disagreement, just talk about it. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. 100%, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't agree more, man. Personal, like genuine relationships, like it's wild,
Yep.
man, and it's like so cool, like when you build those relationships, and then like you start getting like minded folks coming to your stream.
For sure.
Like it's
Yep.
cool. That's like so amazing to me. Like it's something I've noticed, like streaming,
Yep.
like I'll chop it up with some folks or whatever, and then I do my thing on Twitter, and then
Mm-hmm.
folks come in my stream that I don't know,
Yep.
and they're like, "Hey, see you on Twitter. Want to come check you out, man.
Awesome.
Appreciate the positivity or whatever." And
Yep.
shoot, man, it's my pleasure, dude.
Yeah.
Like I love to do it.
Well, that's the thing, right? Positivity is a powerful thing, right? And it draws people in, right? I don't think it's focused on enough, right? I think people like that. You feel good when you go and you read something nice in the morning, or somebody leaves a nice comment, right? Or just like tries to make you laugh or smile, right? It's something that makes you feel good, right? So why not do a little more of it? You know what I mean?
100%.
Right?
100%.
Right? In a genuine way, right?
Dude,
For sure, for sure.
agreed. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing, I've been seeing, more of that lately. And it's like, man, that's awesome, man, as long as it's genuine. Like
Exactly.
if it's not genuine, like,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't know, man. I hope they fix what they got going on.
Exactly.
But like, I'm not doing this stuff to be cool. Like,
No.
I love spreading the love. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
Totally.
I feel like folks like make things harder than what they need to be
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to a lot of stuff in life. And a
Yep.
lot of this stuff is so much more simpler. Like,
Mm,
if you hate your job, get a new job.
definitely.
Like that's
Yeah.
I mean, I sound like a broken record or whatever, but like
Yep.
it's because that's what everybody complains about.
For sure, they do. Yep.
Like, no, like do something else. Like, what's
Yep.
more important to you? Like, if you're making a job that's getting paid a higher dollar or your happiness, that's a no
Mm.
brainer, man. Like,
Oh,
it's a no brainer, man. That stuff, like, all that stuff ages you, dude. Like,
yep.
it takes a toll of your whole life.
Definitely. Definitely, it does. Right. For sure. For sure. And that's the thing, right? Like you said, why go and get paid more when you could just be happy, right? People do a lot of complaining, and social media is a powerful thing now, right? You can literally go and start like a Twitch page, or like a Twitch page. You could start a Twitch page, or like a Twitter or something, right? And talk about certain things, right? Like whether it's, let's go and say photography, right?
Yeah.
Go and learn about photography. Go and watch a couple of YouTube videos. Go and like look on Twitter and stuff, right?
Mhm.
Right? If that's like a talent you have, and I know a couple family members who I wish they would have like done something like that. I have one person in particular. He's an awesome photographer, right?
Mhm.
He loves it. He goes and takes our family photos, stuff like that, right? Right? Like if he had a couple years ago went and made a couple social media accounts, as awkward as that is,
Yeah.
right? And like it feels a little awkward, right? Like he's a little older, right? But once he did that and kind of,
Dude, I'm sorry, brother. Can you hold on one second, man? I'm
no,
sorry.
that's all right,
I'm
dude.
sorry.
No worries.
The Elastic Panda, bro. Salute, bro. Salute, man. I appreciate the 300 bits, my guy. And I
Nice work.
appreciate the host, brother. Salute, man.
Nice work.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. Love you, brother. Thank you so much. And thank you for the kind words, too, man.
Thanks for
It's
everybody stopping in so far. I'll cut this part out of the podcast, but you
100%,
guys
man.
are awesome.
Best, man. 100%, dude. And I
Perfect.
appreciate
Perfect.
that, Panda, dude. That makes my night, brother. Now, not the bits. The bits are great, man. I'm very grateful, but those words mean everything to me, man. So thank you. Good night. All right, my bad, Healthy. Go ahead, brother.
But let's say for some reason he went and started a couple social media accounts,
Mm-hmm.
right? Went and did that, and locally he went out and did a couple gigs as far as like photography. Just even did them for free. You know what I mean? Just to kind of get his name out there, and like he does an awesome job at it. He loves it, right? And I know people would have been recommending him, right? You go and do stuff like that, and all of a sudden your hobby kind of turns into a hobby you start making money at, right? And then all of a sudden maybe it blows up, maybe it doesn't, right? But you got a hobby that it's making you happy, right? Right? You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that, right? Take something that you enjoy and go and do something with it, right? Right? Even if
100%.
you're going to fail, people fail all the time, right? You look at this podcast, right? I dropped the ball completely, right? This update never, I don't know if it's updating or what, but this killer gray screen pops up. It's like I'm panicking for the last hour trying to get this podcast to go, right? Because I don't want to seem like that kid who just goes and sets a deadline and misses it completely, You know what I mean? I hate being that unorganized kid. I was literally 20 minutes early. I had everything set up. Go to have a shower, get a clean shirt on. I come back. I have a gray screen. I was like, oh man, right? But it's just part of the game, right? Like you got to go and deal with the punches, right? Right.
100%.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of thinking about not doing this tonight, right? But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go. Let's go power through it, whether people show up or not, and let's go and have some fun, right? Let's go and try this. It's not going to be easy by any means. You know what I mean? And I gotta tell you, I'm having a blast so far. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little awkward at the start, but I am flying now. I'm feeling comfortable.
Had to get a little rhythm,
Exactly.
huh?
Exactly.
Oh, dude, it's awesome, man. I love it, bro.
Mhm.
I love it, man. Like I'm telling you, dude. Like that's a, a perfect way. And listen, and you know, I thought about it as you were saying that. If not anything else, and that what happened earlier was just to, emphasize how important it is to have
There you
patience
go.
and
Yep.
perseverance, man. Like
For sure.
how
Yep.
it is, man. Like you playing something
Yep.
out, and sometimes it goes south, 100%,
Definitely.
and then
Yep.
you gotta, sit back, take a deep breath. All right, adjust. Okay, keep your composure, and
Mm.
now how here we are now. So
Yep. Exactly.
gotta practice what you preach,
For
and
sure.
yeah, so. It's all good, man. I'm loving it too, man. I feel very honored to be here and to be able to talk about this subject matter with
Definitely.
you. And
Mhm.
I appreciate you being willing to do it with me. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Definitely. If
Means a lot to me.
nobody knows this yet, I'm not sure if many people do, but uh Pat had approached me with this maybe, was it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or
About
something
two
like
weeks.
that?
Hmm.
Came onto my stream and talked to me about this. I posted a video in it, my Twitter at That Healthy Kid. If you want to go and see that, see me freak out a little bit.
Gotcha.
But it was something like that, right? It just took me by complete surprise, and I couldn't be more happier to be here. And I'm glad you chose me to be on here, right? Right. I've
100%.
never said it, but I'm gonna try and bust my butt to try and make this pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
Try and get this going and try and do the best I can anyway with what I can,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
For sure. But I just want to let you know I appreciate it. I really do, man.
That's all love, brother. It's all love. Like I said, I didn't. I'm telling you right now. When I was going into I was like, I seen you. I was like, oh, shit, I'm about to go kick it with my boy, see what he got going on. And then
Mm,
we were chopping up and stuff. And now you know how it is, man. We start vibing, and then I'm like, wait, hold on,
definitely.
man. I'm like, ooh, got an idea. And I'm
Yeah.
like, and you were like, man, I don't even have to be a part of it, but I think that's cool. I'm like, nah, dude, like, I want you
Yep.
to be a part of it because, you've definitely I've been able to come to you and talk to you and stuff. And,
Mhm.
you, when you got your mindset, retuned, you
Yep.
know, um, to any degree, and
Hmm.
you're able to just speak to folks a little different, and they're gonna be able to understand where you're coming from. So, and
For sure.
also give their own great feedback. So I was like, dude, it was no brainer for me, brother. Like, I was like,
Awesome.
nah, like I didn't feel pressured or anything because I mentioned it in your stream, or I didn't feel like obligated that I needed to choose you or nothing like that. I
I,
genuinely wanted to, man.
that's awesome.
I don't regret it one bit.
That's great.
You know,
I'm glad, man. I'm honestly glad. I think
and we
that's
haven't even gotten started yet,
no,
right?
no. This is like the test to the test stream for
100%.
podcast, right? And like I'm liking this, right? I'm glad we didn't like go and jump into it too fast, but we're still learning, right? Like we
Yeah,
still got issues that we're buffering out, right? But we jumped into it with 2 feet kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I have no idea how to go and do. Well, 2 weeks ago, I had no idea how to run like this recording software or anything, right? Right. And I know right now you don't believe me because I've just had technical issues for the last hour, but
yeah.
I honestly figured it out. You know what I mean? I've been watching tutorials all week while I'm at work, right? I was working
I
all last
respect
week,
it.
right? So I didn't have a ton of time, right? So I was trying to bust my butt, trying to catch any videos in the morning while I was at work at night, kind of trying to figure it out, trying to get everything set up, right? It's part of the process, right? You got to work if you're going to get anything out of it, right?
Couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I love that too, dude. I love that you said that. Like that's me. I'm the same way. Like if I'm at work or something,
Yeah,
like and I get a little like free time, I'm like trying to find good enough signal so I can get on Twitter.
oh,
Whatever,
definitely.
boom, boom,
Yeah,
like some folks stuff, send some retweets,
for
see if my
sure.
boys are on, like and
Definitely,
stuff
yeah.
like that, dude. I love that dynamic, man. That's just that that work, man, and it's I love it, bro. It's so much fun. So the
Oh,
fact that you mentioned that, to me, like that's me, man. I'm the same way. Like looking at
yeah,
tutorials, like trying to learn, like
yeah.
just trying to learn, trying to absorb, trying to see what works, what doesn't work for me.
Mm,
All
yep.
that good stuff, and like I said, building those relationships. It's the best, dude. Like it's the
Yeah.
best. I'm very fascinated with it, and like I said, regardless of like what happens long term,
Hmm.
still be able to go and look back and smile and just be like that was cool. Like
Yep.
I was at work looking at trying to figure out how to use OBS.
Exactly. Right.
And
Yep.
me, I've done that too, so I feel you. Like I really feel you
Yep.
on that, brother. Like, and that's part of it, man. When you just love doing it so much, like
Hmm.
you're just about it like all the time. Like,
Oh, sure. Yep.
yeah. Like I said, I've been thinking about this thing, dude, since we talked about it the first time. Like,
Yep. Oh man. I've been waking up fired up in the mornings, right? Because like
yeah,
this has changed my whole like kind of perspective, right? Like I thought, okay, well, I'm just gonna be a Twitch streamer and go and do this every once in a while and figure things out, right?
hmm,
And then you came up to me with that podcast, and I was like, holy man,
yeah,
right? Whether this fails or goes high, and I have high expectations where it will go high, but either way, it's something that I tried. You know what I mean? Right? And it's got me out of my comfort zone and kind of made me go and try something else, right? And it, like I told you before, right? This kind of gives you a platform to go and talk about the things you want to go and talk about, right?
facts.
Right. Things you're passionate about, what your opinions are, whatever, right? And
Yes.
I'm kind of glad we can have a little bit of discussion, both between me and you, and both between like, uh, what would you call it, like our communities,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For sure, get people talking about certain things, right?
Yeah, because it needs to be talked about 100%, bro.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
and yeah, just don't see enough of it.
Hmm.
And so yeah, man, I completely agree with all you said. Um, Now folks like they have a weekly place where they can go and hear
Exactly.
this type of subject stuff, and like I said at the end we can do Q&A or
For
whatever,
sure.
like which is like super cool. If
Yep.
anybody has any questions, stuff like that, and we'll answer it to the best of our abilities. But man, like I mean, like our whole intentions for this podcast is just, I mean, just pure, man. Just wanting to help the community,
Exactly. Yep.
like and like who are we? Like y'all can do whatever y'all want,
For
but
sure. Yep.
if you fall into that dark side of Twitch with
Hmm.
the fake relationships and the follow for follow and all that, and the giving
Definitely.
while giving with expectation instead of giving without expectation and all that stuff, like
Yep.
you're not gonna last.
No,
you know
definitely not. Well,
and
who knows,
go
right?
ahead.
Like some people might hit it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right? Some people might hit success with that. I have no idea, right? But yeah, I think 9 times out of 10 you don't really see that, right? Like
yeah,
people run into brick walls and then they get discouraged. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to break through it or go over it or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah.
they kind of hit issues. Sorry, I cut you off there, Pat.
No, you're good, brother. And like, what happens if their numbers drop?
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yep. For
Like,
sure.
like you just never know. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like, and like I'm like, oof. Like example, like folks, switching games and they lose, 30-40% of their community because they've been playing this
Yep.
one game forever.
Yep.
That stuff like that you have to take into consideration. Like me personally,
Yep.
like I don't know, like I'm definitely about the feedback, but like if everybody's wanting me to play like this one game, but like
Mm-hmm.
if everybody's want me to play Farming Sim, right? But like Red Dead's coming out in October, which I'm gonna
Yeah.
be like, that's all I'm gonna be on for a minute. Like
Yep.
and everybody has a problem with that, man. Like right on, like I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still gonna play Red Dead. Like that's
Yep.
what I want to play, dude. Like you got to do this like to make you happy. Like
Yep.
you know what I mean. Like respect your community. Like be extremely grateful, for, to your community.
Yep.
But at the same time, like if you want to play a game, like play the game.
For sure.
Like if
For
you're
sure.
if I say I'm farming sim and I get burnt out on it,
Yep.
then what? I just keep
Yep.
playing it because I'm getting viewers. No, I'm not about that, dude.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
we're gonna switch it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I love
Definitely.
y'all. I hope y'all, want to come watch me. If not, I respect y'all's decision.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you want to come back, I'll welcome you with open arms. But no animosity. Like I get it. You want to watch somebody play a certain game. Like okay, cool.
Yep.
But I'm not one dimensional. I like to play other stuff.
For sure, right? And I think you get depressed if you don't play something that you want to play, right? If you're going and trying to appease other people and not, like I said before, not being authentic, right? And wanting to be your own person and going with the general consensus, then that's where you could run into trouble, right? Like you're not being your own person, you're not doing what you enjoy, right? And especially like if you're not doing what you enjoy in your spare time, like I know a lot of people who they work 8 or 12 hours, 8, 10, 12 hours a day, come and Twitch stream, and then they're not doing what they want on their downtime.
Oh,
Oh
that's a good point.
man,
That's a good point.
that's terrible, right? Like you're just gonna kind of get into this rhythm where you're gonna be upset all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right? And it was kind of like I played Batman, Arkham Origins or
Yeah.
Arkham Knight, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I love that. I love those games, right? So I was like, all right, I'll play it. And right when I started, I got maybe like 3 viewers, right? And then I think you like Brozine hosted me or whatever, got a couple viewers from that, and I had played it for a couple nights for like the last like week and a half.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, I'd play it for maybe 2 or 3 hours a night, and I would have like 5, 6, 7 viewers, right? And definitely shout out to the people who hosted me because I think that's a big reason why I had those in there, right? But it was me playing stuff, and people would enjoy it, and they would lurk, or they would actually stick around and engage with me, right? Like I got a couple new viewers from that too, right? And they would help me figure out the game, help me play with the game, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that was huge for me, right? That I actually played a game that I enjoyed and people stuck around for it and would engage with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
For sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And you could get, like I said, you could definitely get some blowback from it.
Definitely. Yep.
Switching up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, brother, you gotta do what makes you happy. Sure.
Definitely. Yep.
Yeah.
For sure you do. For sure you do. Right? Definitely. But that's the thing, right? It's just being your own person, coming up with your own ideas and stuff like that, right? Or like not even coming up with your own ideas, but making sure if there's an idea present that you actually want to do it, you're not doing it just because other people want you to do it, right?
100%.
Right. Like whether you're switching up your stream time or whatever, right? Make sure it works for you, right? Don't go and burn yourself out
Yeah.
just because other people are telling you, "Oh man, you'll get so many more viewers if you go and change this up or do whatever." You know what I mean?
Right, 100%. Yeah, yeah, bro. It's so funny. Like, I actually like sent a tweet out earlier, and I was like I'm thankful, like I'm blessed, like I'm able to work around like folks that keep my perspective in check,
Yeah.
and like all those Zydo. My pleasure, brother. Appreciate you doing it, man. I should have did it earlier, man. Like honestly, we're usually pretty cool. Usually don't have any issues. But like Healthy Kid says, it's a sign of good things going on. That's all love, brother. Anyway, the reason why I said that, I sent that tweet, like I didn't mean it as like folks at my job are like extremely encouraging and positive. I meant it because like I don't know, I'm able to like react to like negativity different. Like so if I hear like somebody like complaining about whatever, like at my job or something like that, I'm able to be like, okay, cool, like thanks for keeping me in check because like I'm happy. Like I got nothing what you got going on.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like or like if you hear like folks that like they've been through a lot, got a lot going on, like man, shoot, I'm thankful. Like I don't have any of that going on. For sure. So yeah, 100%, brother.
For sure. For sure.
That's very important. Keeping that perspective.
Definitely it is. For sure, Pat.